How excited would you get if Bill Dance called you for some tournament information about a lake that you knew about? How about Roland Martin or Hank Parker? Boy, I'd get excited if they called me and asked me for advice. Good morning, guys and girls. September 16, we are having spectacular weather in Oklahoma. Spectacular weather in Oklahoma. Romans 9:24. This is short but very, very sweet. We are those people whom God called. That's us. That's what a Christian is. We are those people whom God called. Take that to the bank. Don't ever forget it. Let's see what I wrote about that rascal. Many of the tournament guys call local tournament fishermen to learn about lakes with which they're not familiar with. Now, depending on the tournaments you're fishing, depending on the rules, that might be 30 days in advance, might be 2 weeks. Some smaller tournaments allow you to call and talk to anybody, even during the tournament, during in-between days or something. Most of the big-time tournaments have a rather long cutoff period that you can't call anybody and talk to them about what's going on in the lake. But forever, that's been happening, and it probably always will, as long as it's legal for those guys to do it. Most locals, that's what the pros call people that live around a lake, locals. Most locals are really excited when a big-name pro calls them for help. Think about it. You're a local fisherman. Maybe you got a little, puffed up. You're doing pretty good in local tournaments, winning your bass club, and all of a sudden one of those big-name guys calls and asks you, what do you know about this lake? What do you know about it? Can you tell me what they're hitting on? Do you have a spot or two where you usually do really good, a part of the lake? Whatever. If you're looking for something to really get excited about, think about who called you to be a Christian. Who called you to be a Christian? Who chose you to be one of His? No one less than the God who created the world, who spoke the world into existence. Look around and see what we've got here. God spoke this into existence. If you get a feeling that your life is falling apart, if you get the feeling that no one loves you and no one cares, remember whose family you belong to. You belong to the family of God. God chose you. Would you get excited if Roland Martin or Larry Nixon or Woo Daves called? This is infinitely better. Start jumping for joy. God Himself has called. God Himself has called. Okay, here's our tip for this week. A slider head jig will give a worm more action than a slip sinker. Now, slider head jig, back when I wrote the Catch of the Day book, and by the way, we wrote this back several years ago. We are writing another Catch of the Day book right now. I've got 120 some odd devotionals written for a new Catch of the Day book that'll be available really about this time next year. But if you don't have the Catch of the Day book, you can order it directly from us. Just give our office a call, 918-457-5115. And if you want it personalized or autographed, just tell them and we'll do that. I'll even pay the shipping and handling and get that thing back to you. Watching a deer out there in the yard playing around a little bit. But what a slider head jig is what nowadays is called a shaky head. We used to call it a slider head. It sort of slid through the water, and that's what we called it. They now call them shaky heads, and they've even got different names for them, like Nicky rigs or Nico rigs, which is with the weight down in the bait, or just a Ned rig, which is just a small jig and worm is what it is. Those baits have been around for a long time, and we've used them in various forms, but they will produce more action than a slip sinker would. So there's a definite time and place to use those. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one today. I'm going to watch a deer a little bit here this morning. Remember, I love you.